On June 9, 2025, a new executive order from President Donald Trump went into effect. It created a strict travel ban, blocking people from certain countries from entering the United States. This policy arrived with swift and powerful force, immediately changing the landscape of American immigration. The order fully bars nationals from 12 countries. It also places heavy new restrictions on people from 7 other nations. For many communities across the United States, the announcement was not just a news headline. It was a direct and personal blow, reviving fears and uncertainties that had marked the president's first term in office. The list of countries facing a complete ban is long and specific. It includes Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, and Haiti. The list continues with Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The stated reason for their inclusion is national security. The administration claims these nations do not meet American standards for vetting their citizens. 7 other countries, including Burundi, Cuba, and Venezuela, now face heightened visa restrictions, making travel to the US much more difficult. This policy is far-reaching, projected to block tens of thousands of immigrant visas and over 100,000 non-immigrant visas each year. This ban is legally stronger than the one from 2017. The government used Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This law gives the president broad power to stop foreigners from entering the country if they are deemed a threat. The Supreme Court upheld this authority in a 2018 ruling, giving the new ban a solid legal foundation. The White House provided detailed justifications for each country, citing issues like the presence of terrorists, a lack of cooperation on security, and high rates of people overstaying their visas. The goal was to build a policy that could withstand the legal challenges that its predecessor faced. The implementation of the ban was immediate. US embassies around the world stopped processing new visa applications from the targeted countries. While existing visas would not be revoked, any applications that were still pending, even if already approved, were denied. This created instant chaos for thousands of people who were in the middle of the long and expensive visa process. For them, the dream of coming to America was suddenly cut short by a new wall of policy. The decision left families in limbo and communities in shock, wondering what would come next and if the doors to the United States had closed for good. The government's official reason for the 2025 travel ban is to protect the nation. The Trump administration states that the policy is necessary to keep its citizens safe from individuals who might intend to commit terrorist acts or threaten national security. The order's text speaks of preventing those who espouse hateful ideology from entering the country. For each of the 12 banned nations, the White House released documents detailing specific security failures. For Yemen, officials pointed to the ongoing civil war and the presence of terrorist groups as reasons why proper identity verification is impossible. The message was clear. This was a necessary measure to protect the homeland. This official rationale, however, rings hollow in the streets of Dearborn, Michigan. This city is home to the largest Arab-majority population in America, with nearly half of its 110,000 residents having Arab roots. The Yemeni-American community here is large, vibrant, and deeply woven into the city's fabric. For them, the inclusion of Yemen on the ban list feels like a profound betrayal. Many of these residents are American citizens. They see the ban not as a security measure, but as a form of collective punishment that unfairly targets them and their families based on their country of origin. The sense of betrayal is especially sharp given the political shifts in Dearborn. In the 2024 election, Donald Trump made history by becoming the first Republican presidential candidate to win the city since 2000. Many Arab American voters, including a significant number of Yemeni Americans, had turned away from the Democratic Party. They were angry over the Biden administration's policies regarding the war in Gaza. They listened to Trump's promises to bring peace to the Middle East and cast their ballots for him, hoping for a change. Now, they feel that their trust has been repaid with a policy that harms their own community directly. Local leaders and activists have voiced their shock and disappointment. Wali Al-Tahif, a community activist, called the ban selective discrimination. Rashid Al-Nozili, the publisher of the Yemeni-American news, stated that the policy would likely fuel Islamophobia rather than achieve its stated security goals. The feeling on the ground is one of frustration and disillusionment. The community feels caught between two political parties, both of which they believe have failed them. The security justifications offered by Washington, D.C. feel distant and disconnected from the reality of their lives in Michigan. The impact of the 2025 travel ban is not abstract. It is felt deeply in the daily lives of families in Dearborn. The policy has immediately erected new barriers, separating spouses, parents, and children. Many residents have relatives in Yemen who are in the process of applying for visas to join them in the United States. These applications are now frozen, their hopes dashed. A young man who had been waiting for his fiancée to get her visa now faces an indefinite separation. An elderly woman who was hoping to bring her son over to help care for her is now left without that support. These are not just administrative delays, they are profound personal tragedies unfolding in real time. The ban has also created a chilling effect that extends even to those who are legal residents or citizens. Civil rights attorney Amir Maklid has reported that some people of Yemeni descent are now afraid to travel abroad for any reason. They feared they might be detained or denied re-entry upon their return, despite their legal status. One man, a legal permanent resident, cancelled his Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, a journey that is a pillar of his Islamic faith. He was too worried that he would be stranded outside the United States, unable to return to his home and family in Dearborn. This fear is pervasive, creating a climate of anxiety and instability. The ban does include some exemptions, but they offer little comfort to most families. The rules state that green card holders are exempt, and that U.S. citizens can still apply for visas for their immediate relatives, such as spouses, minor children, and parents. However, the process is notoriously slow and difficult. Activist Wali Al-Tahif shared his own experience. It took 5 long years for his wife's visa application from Yemen to be approved before she finally arrived in 2024. The journey was filled with bureaucratic hurdles and uncertainty. For many, these so-called exceptions are not a realistic pathway, but another source of frustration. The human cost is immense. The policy disrupts the fundamental fabric of family life, which is central to the Yemeni-American community. It prevents families from celebrating weddings together, from mourning losses together, and from providing care for one another across continents. Young children may grow up without ever meeting their grandparents. Spouses face the prospect of years spent apart. The ban is more than a line in a legal document. It is a force that is actively tearing families apart and casting a dark shadow over their futures. The promise of a better life in America now seems distant and conditional. The implementation of the 2025 travel ban is set to have significant political consequences, particularly in a crucial state like Michigan. The Arab and Muslim communities in the Detroit metropolitan area have become a powerful and influential voting bloc. Their recent shift in political allegiance during the 2024 election demonstrated their ability to sway outcomes. By helping Trump win Dearborn, they sent a clear message that their votes could not be taken for granted by either party. Now with this new ban, the community feels doubly betrayed, creating a volatile and unpredictable political environment ahead of future elections. The upcoming 2026 midterm races in Michigan are already drawing national attention. There will be open seats for both the governor's mansion and a U.S. Senate position. Candidates from both parties will need to navigate the complex sentiments of the Arab-American electorate. The anger over the ban, layered on top of the lingering frustration over foreign policy in the Middle East, has left many voters feeling politically homeless. Osama Siblani, publisher of the Arab-American News, has noted that there is a growing appetite within the community to support an independent candidate who might better represent their interests. This sentiment could directly benefit a candidate like Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, a prominent Democrat who has announced he is running for governor as an independent. His campaign could provide an alternative for voters who are disillusioned with both the Republican and Democratic parties. If a large portion of the Arab American community breaks away from the two-party system, it could fundamentally reshape Michigan's political landscape. The travel ban has become a powerful symbol of their grievances, and it will likely be a central issue as they evaluate candidates in 2026. Ultimately, the long-term political impact of this policy may extend far beyond a single election cycle. The feeling of being targeted and betrayed could galvanize the Arab American community into greater political organization and activism. They have learned that their collective voice can make a difference, and they may be more determined than ever to hold elected officials accountable. The 2025 travel ban intended as a measure of national security, may have inadvertently awakened a political force in Michigan that will demand to be heard for years to come, ensuring that their concerns can no longer be ignored by anyone seeking power.
I hope you found this video useful. Follow me right here on YouTube for more great content daily. Download my international best-selling book, Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone, for absolutely free at growfast.club. I say again, download my book at growfast.club for all of my 7-figure growth hacks. Get your copy now while it's still free.
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God, it's beautiful.